Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Wisconsin Greg, and today we're going to be making some of Paws Doing It Cheap wine. I've made wine before. I've always made it in 5-gallon jugs, and it got to be where I ended up making too much wine, more than I could drink, and so I kind of got out of making it. And I want to do this because I can make smaller batches and try different flavors, not stuck with so much at one time. And this is the way he does it. It's everything you can buy in the grocery store, and I'll leave a link on the bottom of the page if I can figure out how to do that, so you can go to his channel. And I would appreciate if you give him a subscribe and watch some of his videos. He's quite the character. He doesn't care about being politically correct. He says it the way it is, and that's why everybody, I think, likes him so much. If you find his page and you're kind of wondering if you got the right person or not, if he looks like Santa Claus, you found the right page. So we'll get started with this. Everything here you can buy in a grocery store. You don't need winemaker's yeast, according to Grandpa or Pawpaw, and everything is done cheap and easy. You don't need nothing special, no special airlocks, no special racking tools or anything like that. It's all right down to doing it cheap, and that's what his channel's about. So this is kind of a shout out for Pawpaw and his channel and doing it cheap. So when I leave a link to his video that shows how he makes wine the same way I'm doing today, maybe subscribe to him and leave a little message that Wisconsin Greg sent you. I'd appreciate that. Thank you. So we'll get started right on making this wine. It's pretty easy. He does it in his video in 40 seconds. I'm not going to be that quick today, but I'm going to take my time and kind of go along here and show you how easy it is to do. First, for the ingredients: 100% juice, 64 ounces, which is 2 quarts. I got grape here, and I got another one sitting here on the side of me, which is cherry. And you also need 1.5 cups of sugar per each batch that you're making, and also a half a teaspoon of yeast. Now, he doesn't use winemaking yeast, he just uses the yeast right from the grocery store, so everything's really accessible and cheap. He uses this type of, I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, Fleischmann's active dry yeast. There it is right there. And that is a half a teaspoon of yeast per batch. So 1.5 cups of sugar, a half teaspoon of yeast, and a 2-quart bottle of juice. That's 100% juice. That's all you need. So we'll get started on that right now. The first thing you do is you take your juice bottle and you open it up and pour out 16 ounces of juice. Okay. Okay. Now this Pawpaw, he always just drinks it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use 2 more of these, and I'll have 16 ounces of these, and that'll make enough to make another batch of wine. So I'll make 4 batches of wine out of 3 bottles of juice. You can drink it if you want, or you can make that extra batch of wine. The only thing you need is you'll need another jug to make it in, which he says you can use any kind of jug. You can use a milk jug, any kind of jug that food comes in. Milk jug or another juice jug if you got laying around. So that's what I'm going to do. With that, I'm going to blend all those 3 different flavors together and see how it comes out. Right now I got cherry and grape, and I don't have a third one yet, but I'm going to go out and buy another one, which I'm not sure what I'm going to get. Maybe apple. I'll see what looks good on the shelf. I'll see what's there, and what also I can get the best deal on. So we'll set this off to the side right now, and that'll be used for another batch, which will be a blended batch, which I'm going to do. So next you want to add in 1.5 cups of sugar. Funnel makes this a lot easier. If you don't have a funnel, you can just take a piece of paper and roll it up and tape it and form it into a funnel. This is all about doing it cheap, and that's what his channel is about, and that's why I like his channel. So take your sugar and you pour it into your juice. I already got it measured out here, 1.5 cups. So pour that in there. This is just regular white sugar that you buy in the grocery store. Nothing fancy about it. Now each batch makes almost a 1/2 gallon of juice. It's just a little shy of a 1/2 gallon. And what Paws says, it costs roughly around $3 to make this. And so that's not too bad a deal. About a 1/2 gallon of wine for $3, give or take a little bit, depending on where you live. Then you take your yeast, and you'd want to put in a 1/2 teaspoon of yeast. Okay, got that. Now most people, professional winemakers and stuff, they'll take yeast and put it in warm water and get it activated before they put it in there. Paws says you don't have to do that, so he's been doing this for a while, and a lot of his subscribers have been doing it. So we're going to do it just exactly the way he says. Okay. So then you put the cap on tight right now, and you just shake and shake and shake. He says you shake it until all the sugar is dissolved. So I'll cut the camera here for a few seconds, and I'll just continue shaking this, and then I'll come back here and continue from there. Okay, I'm back. I got this all shook up. All the sugar is dissolved, none on the bottom. It's all dissolved. Didn't take real long. I don't know, a minute or so, minute and a half, 2 minutes. Can't overshake it, but that'll be the last time you shake it until, I mean, you'll be drinking it, the next thing. You won't be shaking it no more ever again. So the most important part of this whole thing now, to me, is you got to make sure you take this cap and loosen it up. If you leave that sealed, there's a good possibility, or most likely it'll explode or make an awful mess all over the place. So you loosen up your cap and squeeze it until you see your cap moving up and down and air coming out. I can hear it and smell it and see. I can see the cap moving. Now you want to make sure that's just loose enough so the pressure can get out. You can use an airlock if you want to, but this is all about doing it cheap. The main thing, just don't forget to loosen that cap up. The reason that the cap is loose or on there, and the main reason you want a cap to be loose like that is to release the pressure. The main reason for an airlock that a lot of winemakers use, which is either like a balloon or they'll have a thing that curls up like this and there's some water in it and lets the gases out and nothing else can get in. The main thing is to keep the bugs out, and this will keep the bugs out. It's loose enough, the bugs can't get in it, but the pressure can release. So that's what you're looking for right there. So I'm gonna take a marker. Let me see what I did with that. I'll be right back. And I'm gonna mark the date on the top of when I made this. And according to most of the people in Paws that makes this wine, they say it takes roughly around 30 days. That'll all vary with the amount of sugar that's already in the juice. The more sugar, the longer it takes, the natural sugar that's in the juice. You'll know when it's all done when all the bubbles are completely gone. Papa says it should look like the top of a cup of coffee. There should be absolutely no bubbles in there at all. If you drink it before, when it's still fermenting, he says it'll make you go to the bathroom, you'll get diarrhea, and you'll be running back and forth to the bathroom. So you want to make sure that it's completely done fermenting. Now, you can rack this, which is taken after it's all completely done, there'll be a lot of sediment on the bottom. You can take a hose and you can siphon it and put this bottle up higher and siphon it off into another bottle to get rid of that sediment, so that when you're pouring it, you don't get it into your wine. But he says he just, normally with a small batch like this, he doesn't rack it or siphon it. He just pours real gently and leaves the sediment on the bottom. There isn't nothing in here that's going to hurt you after it's all done fermenting. It's more just for looks and stuff, and the clarity of the wine. So that's your choice whether you want to rack it or not. You can just use like a fish aquarium hose, but make sure it's food grade. Clear hose if you're going to rack your wine from one jug to another. And then you can let it sit for a few days, and if more sediment settles, you can rack it again. And that's about it. And if you wanted to bottle your wine, you could, but according to Papa, this ain't really for a keeping wine or like a storing wine. This is a drinking wine. And you make small batches and just enough where you can drink it up in time. You don't have to worry about bottling. You don't need all that equipment. Now, Papa says this wine will be 16 to 20% alcohol, which is roughly around 50% stronger than most of the wine sold in out of stores, like liquor stores and stuff. So that's pretty strong. It'll get you drunk, I guess. Everybody on chat on his site, they seem to really like it, so that's why I decided to make it. As I said, it takes about 30 days, and you just set this in a dark area. He likes to set his like near an area, like say if you have a water heater in a closet, something like that, where it's like a warmer area. But as long as it's I'd say leave it in your house somewhere where it's dark. If you don't have a dark area, you can put like paper bags over it or a towel over it or something just to keep it dark. So let's see here. I think that's about it. So I'm gonna go ahead and make my other one after this video, and then I gotta run to town, and I'll make the other one either later tonight or tomorrow with a blend of all the 3 16-ounce sections that I took out of this one and the other two. So that'll be interesting to have a blend of wine and see how that tastes. So just remember, I'll try to put a link to Papa's channel, which is called Doing It Cheap, down in my description of this video, and check him out. And if you like his videos, subscribe to him and tell him that Wisconsin Greg sent you. Now after this is all done brewing, it'll be roughly 30 days or longer. I'll come back and I'll make up a tasting video, and I'll do some wine tasting and see. I'll let you know what I think. Should be good. Can't wait. Now I just want to thank each and every one of you for viewing my channel. I appreciate you all coming by and checking this out. And I'm gonna end this video with a quote that Papa always says at most every one of his videos at the end, and it's have a wonderful day and a better tomorrow.